But what do? I don't want to give you a Tony Robbins-style motivational pap. Go out and do your best and seize the world and climb the mountain and all that crap that you get from so many motivational talks. You know what's wrong with motivational talks? It's like Chinese food. You all get excited, and then you leave the room, and 2 days later, what do we do now? I've lost my excitement because I've hit the real world. I had a couple of calls with John and Ken along the way. And John said to me, this all sounds great, but what do you do Monday morning? What do my people do next Monday morning that is fundamentally different? And I thought about that issue. Thought about that issue in the context of other organizations I've walked into and observing what they've done or what they haven't done. Here's what I know you don't do. I actually went into Motorola in 2005, and it was a meeting like this, global leadership meeting, and the focus was, how do we collaborate? How do we share? How do we become an organization that can grab onto this fast-paced future in which BlackBerry Research in Motion is coming to take apart parts of our business? And do you know what that devolved into very quickly? It was an argument amongst various global business groups as to allocation of budget. There was no focus whatsoever on opportunity. There was no focus whatsoever on the fact that there was massive disruption occurring. There was no focus whatsoever that we need to accelerate our R&D and product design capabilities, because the world belongs to the future for those who are fast. And look where they ended up. Don't be like Motorola. So what can you do? I spent some time in a company called FMC Lithium. FMC is part of a global conglomerate. And it was a small off-site, and the focus was collaboration. Focus was the rapid emergence of new markets, and I was talking to the CEO. And he was talking about the emergence of LED TVs. And he was saying this was back in 2006, 2007. Lithium is a component product in LED TVs. And he saw that they had an opportunity to get involved in this market and become a key supplier and ride that trend before it disappeared. And the global LED TV market went from $9 billion to $43 billion literally overnight. And they played a role in that because what they did was they focused on, how do we form fast teams? How do we pull together resource from throughout the organization? As disparate and as decentralized it might be on a global basis, how do we form a fast team to pursue this global opportunity? Because we've only got a small window to do it before that opportunity is closed. And that's happening today as OLED TV technology, which does not contain lithium, comes to replace LED TVs. There's a company called Parker Hannifin, Parker, hydraulics business. Hydraulics industry is changing at a furious pace because of the acceleration of science and many other trends. And their focus was, well, maybe what we should do is we should form some centers of excellence. Let's define amongst our disparate business units who's really good at what, and let them focus on their areas of excellence and then work to bring that in terms of the scope of opportunity to other parts of the organization. I was just with a company in St. Louis called Amsted Rail. Amsted Rail manufactures the bogies, the undercarriage of rail transport. They're thinking about the Internet of Things. They're thinking about prognostic diagnostics. They're thinking about a world in which they can predict when a particular part on a railway undercarriage might go wrong. It can tell the customer, and thereby sell a different value proposition that is based on service and decrease safety risk and other factors. And what they've done that I found is absolutely fascinating is they've decided to pursue a methodology they call, let's put in place Xbox rooms. Let's put in place facilities where that younger generation of 20 or 25 can come in and work with additive manufacturing, 3D printing, and Internet of Things. Let's create a number of Xbox rooms throughout the organization, and let's let them run loose in order to accelerate our capabilities. I was just with a company called Bison Trucking in Manitoba, Winnipeg. And what do they have? They've got an Xbox room because the world of trucking is accelerating to a world of hyperconnectivity, where the trucking office of the future is increasingly going to look like an airplane control tower interacting with a bunch of self-driving trucks. And how do we innovate in the context of that space and create a number of Xbox rooms? I was with Disney. One of my Disney events was with their consumer products division. And they realized their entire focus of innovation and collaboration context was wrong, because they didn't listen to the customer. And they decided to turn innovation upside down, customer-oriented innovation. Let's change our mindset so increasingly the customer is in the driving seat in terms of telling us what we need to do in terms of the evolution of our product, because maybe we don't know in the context of this fast-paced world exactly what it is we need to do. I was with a company called Pladis. This is the parent company of Godiva Chocolates, McVitie's Biscuits, Ulker in Turkey. 3 independent retail organizations in different retail spaces, geographically dispersed. But their focus is they've come together under an umbrella as a parent, and their focus is how do we innovate in a world of fast-changing retail? And their goal was, well, let's define some common areas of interest. Let's think about that intelligent, connected gin bottle with LED TV. Let's think about this world of shopper marketing, interaction, of products and packages, intelligent packaging with the consumer via Facebook and other social relationships to provide for some product uplift. And let's get our teams to focus on that common purpose and then specifically develop the capability for regional implementation. Whirlpool Maytag's focused, from the discussions with them, seemed to be let's form a number of exploratory teams throughout the organization in terms of what we need to do to get to this connected kitchen. But let's make sure as we do that, we've got to innovate in a hurry, we've got to be fast, we've got to get there before our competitors do, but let's think through the long-term architecture issues, because we do need to have a cohesive architecture going forward. I would encourage any of you to get involved with the Apple iPod, iPhone centralized management tool. And if you are managing 1,000 iPods from one centralized location, you realize what they've done is they put so much thought into architecture that is robust, manageable, upgradable, thinking through what we can do with the Internet of Things. Lockheed Martin, when I was with them, let's do internal crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing seems to be working on a global external basis. Let's develop a capability for crowdsourcing inside, where somebody has a capability, somebody has an idea, somebody has a project, somebody has an idea in mind. Let's build a crowdsourcing platform internally by which they can seek the resource and capability to accomplish this. Volvo, Mack Trucks, faced with a world of rapid evolution with self-driving truck technology, augmented reality, all of these things. We don't have a seat at the table with these folks in Silicon Valley who are moving it forward at such a furious pace. Let's make sure we get a team who has a seat at the table. With an organization called Cal Tire, Canadian company with a lot of retail locations that do tire changes, automotive repair, automotive maintenance. They're thinking about this world of self-driving trucks and what happens to us with electronic vehicles when there's less maintenance required. And so let's establish a project to accelerate ourselves in terms of collaboration. Let's do an inventory of the creative differentiators that we can identify throughout all of our retail locations. And by virtue of that, identify some accelerator projects where we can innovate a little bit faster. Lowe's. Well, people are social networking externally. Why not build internal social networking capabilities? Why not have an internal Twitter? Why not have an internal Facebook? Why not have an internal Instagram by which you are all sharing collectively your ideas and your observations and your trends and your experiments, your successes, your failures? Why not become social? Why not talk about it? I was with Discover Financial Services, and you know what they did to pick up their pace of technological innovation? Well, the investment world seems to get together and they have Monday morning meetings. Everybody jumps on a call for 1 hour and we just talk about the state of the world. And they're discovering this is providing them an opportunity to help to build this collaborative capability throughout the organization. Establish big goals, big dreams, big visions, and be relentless on the clarity of the purpose. Look at what GE is doing with their brilliant factories. Look at what GE is doing as they equivocate on a regular basis that we are no longer the GE from the olden days. We are a digital business, and we are going to be digital and connected, hyper-connected in everything we do, and being relentless throughout the organization in terms of what they do and what they share and where they innovate around that common purpose. Last but not least, celebrate. Celebrate success. I was with Philips Healthcare, and they brought together a group of innovators, those who had ideas, those who had new products, those who had new operating methodologies, and a big celebratory dinner done up Hollywood style with red carpets and lights and trophies. We need to celebrate success. We need to celebrate failure.